think most of you know me. I'm Patrick Borchers, and I'm the academic vice president. I'm here to MC today's festivities and to say a few nice things about Barb, which are well-deserved. Barb and I have what's, I'm not sure it's literally unique, but it's certainly an unusual relationship in the sense that we started off as colleagues, then she was my boss, and then I became her boss. And you might think this would be awkward, except it turns out that each of us is impervious to being bossed. So it didn't really make any difference. I will say, in a way, this party does represent a singular achievement for me. And the singular achievement is, I think it's the one and only time that I've actually made Barb do something that she said she wasn't going to do. Because she started off by saying, no, there will be no party. And I said, no, Barb, you've meant too much to people around here for too long, and there will be a party. And then she rejoined, I'll cry. And I said, well, it's your party, and you can cry if you want to. I have gathered some intelligence here, and I've got some fun facts here on Barb, and I'm not going to recount all of her wonderful accomplishments, but I'm told that when her nieces and nephews were young, they used to ask, Aunt Barbie, are you famous? The answer to that turns out to be yes, because, and this is one of the great things about Creighton, is that we really have a lot of remarkable people, and sometimes they're kind of right under our nose and we don't notice it. But if you type in Dr. Barbara Braden scale in Google, you get 256,000 sites that are hit. The Braden scale is literally used on every continent. It's been translated into 14 different languages, and millions and millions of patients have had their lives saved or made better by Barb's innovation with regard to that. So to me, this is sort of the nursing equivalent of having invented the polio vaccine. It really is a remarkable achievement that Barb has accomplished. And if I think, I just reflect back on, I haven't known her nearly as long as many of you in this room have, but I think about the 12 years that we've been together, and I think about all that she's meant to me, and then I think exponentially how it's multiplied out to all that it has meant to so many of you. And particularly, and I have to say this, the leadership position that Barb has always held with regard to women on this campus. Just about every position that she's held, she's either been the first woman or one of the very first women to hold the position. And the kind of leadership, the sort of integrity that she has brought to everything that she's done, this undying sense of the mission of Creighton University, I really can't think of anybody that I'd be more proud to hold up and say, you want to know about our university? Well, you ought to take a look at Dr. Braden. That's what I would like to say about Creighton. So, we've got a few other things to do here, but one of the first things I'd like to do is to call up my friend and colleague Tom Coffey, who has a citation that he'd like to read. And Tom, there you are. Okay.
Thank you, Pat. Perhaps it's because Barb is impervious to being boss that she has had so many friends in the faculty. The Faculty Council has only, about 4 times in its history, written up a citation for someone, and Dr. Braden is one of those. Father Schlegel is another. So we have 2 this year. The citation reads, "Whereas Dr. Barbara J. Braden has demonstrated extraordinary commitment to excellence in teaching, research, and service, and whereas Dr. Braden has consistently supported the faculty in carrying out their academic mission and served as a mentor and champion for women. And whereas Dr. Braden has shown leadership, respect, and dignity throughout her years as Dean of the Graduate School, Interim Vice President for Academic Affairs, and Dean of the University College and Summer Sessions, and whereas Dr. Braden has embodied the principle of cura personalis, therefore, be it resolved that we, the members of the Faculty Council, express our commendation and sincere appreciation to Dr. Braden for her exemplary leadership and service, and resolved that we extend our best wishes for future success as Dr. Braden moves on to new endeavors." Thank you. And it is framed.
All right, next we have the entertainment part of the program. And I'd like to call up my colleague, Don Fry, and we'll see whether we pull this off technically or not.
So can I speak? I can speak through this thing. Okay, not quite yet. This gives me an opportunity to say a few things, Barb, as well. First of all, I guess the only introduction I should give as far as what I'm going to do is to tell you that if there's anyone out there who still harbors one shred of doubt about my willingness to stand up in front of a large group of people and make a complete fool out of myself, those doubts will soon be put to rest. What I would like to say is that I was asked to do a song about your retirement, Barb, and of course I refused. I said, no, I'm not going to sing anything about Barb's retirement because I don't think Barb's going to retire. I think we can convince her to stay. So I said, I will do a song that basically is geared toward getting Barb to stay. So this is a song that everyone needs to help out with. Everyone needs to sing with. You'll know this song. You'll pick up kind of the way we alter the chorus here pretty quickly. Still wondering if I've had enough wine to sing this song. But in any case, the other thing I would like to say, because this may be my only opportunity to say this in front of a large group of people, is that, Barb has had an impact on so many people's lives. And some people may know this, some people may not. But the reason I'm standing here today, the reason I'm still at Creighton is because of Barb. And Barb's influence, what Barb did for me personally. The reason why I'm the vice president is because of Barb and her influence and what she did for me personally. And I'm just one person. Barb's done that for so many people and had an impact on so many people's lives. And I can't thank you enough for that, Barb, and I want to thank you in front of all these people for everything that you've done for me and what you've done for me personally. Okay, enough of this sappy crap. Here's the deal with this song. You can't just do any song for Barb. It has to be a very special song. It has to be a song of special importance. And so all of you, again, have to sing with me, but this is quite possibly the greatest rock and roll song ever. So I know I'm like vertically challenged, horizontally challenged, and challenged in terms of hair. Don't think of the lead singer when you hear this song, but we need to do a song that could be titled, Barb, You Can't Go Into Retirement. Okay. 1, 2, go ahead and hit it. We'll see if we haven't rehearsed this, so we'll see if it works. Okay, let's help now.
stampede. Well, Barb, we're here to tell you, we don't want you to leave. But maybe you could stay and not leave us in a rut if we all said we had ulcers on our butt.
I will sing the verse. I will say the verse. The verse went like this. The verse, which I can remember now. The verse actually went, Barb, don't cut and run. Think of all the things. Listen to what we're saying. Think of all of the things you've done. You've been a chair, 3 deans, and an AVP. Nobody else is going to do that in history. You can't go. So, Barb, you heard it from everyone. You can't go. You can't retire. You have to stay.
Well, many of you know that I'm a lawyer by training, and it's not often that lawyers are left literally speechless. Some acts are just quite literally impossible to follow. That was really great, Nan. Thank you. I have one little presentation here that I'd like to do, and this is something that I had promised to Barb that I would do. And I actually followed through for once. And so let me read the following letter, and I have a citation below, signed by the Reverend John P. Schlegel of the Society of Jesus, and it says, Dear Barb, in recognition of your ability and accomplishments, I'm happy to promote you to the rank of Dean Emeritus. Your promotion will be effective and conferred at your farewell reception on Tuesday, March 3rd, 2011. Creighton University is indeed grateful for your years of dedicated service, and we pray that God will continue to bless all of your endeavors. I'm personally grateful for your leadership, your friendship, and all that you have done for Creighton University and your many years of service. Congratulations. All best wishes, the President, John P. Schlegel. Before you get to come up with rebuttal, I have to call up the president of the university, Barb Braden. No, the president of the university, Father Schlegel, and then you get rebuttal time, which is well deserved. Father Schlegel.
Thanks, Pat, very much. I could rescind that, you know. So, we're also probably going to make you Professor Emeritus at someday as well. We're just trying to figure out the chronologization here. I am not going to do what you've just seen done. I am not going to replicate either a citation in a frame, Dr. Coffey. Mine was just in an envelope. Nor am I going to replicate Pat's humor, nor Dr. Fry's hidden talent. And we like it that way. But suddenly I realized the cabinet is more like a Comedy Central than I realized. We got to spice up our meetings. I just have one very sort of small comment to make about my friend. When I think of Barb Braden, and I've known her less long than a lot of you in this room, for 11 years, and she's always been there when I really needed her, but 4 words come to mind, and that is family. Her mother's here, her sister's here, cousins are here. Faith, friends, lots of friends, and female. Now, I put in that last one because that sort of ties the other 3 together very effectively. And the one thing that Barb Braden gave me in my decade of being a president is very much what Pat referenced earlier. She truly empowered me by her own role modeling and her accomplishments to take some of those tough steps and break down that glass ceiling in the executive cabinet room. The first interim academic vice president, first female dean of the graduate school. She empowered me in so many ways quietly to invite one of her dear friends, Chris Wiseman, to come in as our first chief academic officer of the female persuasion. And I talked to Chris today, and she sends her greetings to this event as well. So I think everyone in this room can echo what Pat said and the sentiment behind the faculty council resolution and the genuine message that was in Don Fry's repertoire. But the thing is, all of you here today are here for a reason. It's not just another party, of which we've had a lot of them this time of year. It's because it's the focus of that party. And the focus of that party is a friend and a family and a faithful and a female who has done all the above and has empowered so many of those who will come after her. So, Barb, it's my great pleasure to, again, thank you for everything you've done for the university and so much more that hasn't been spoken of. We do have a little gift for you here. Some of them can be emptied quite quickly, but, you know. There is. And there's an iPod as well. All right, Barb, now you make it. Oh, my goodness. iPod. Dr. Braden, you now may come up. You ready for this?
Well, actually, thank you, Dr. Fry, especially for picking out a song from my era, as they say. And now I'm verklempt enough that I can't read the remarks that I prepared. Like Dr. Fry, the memory's kind of gone too, so I can't do it from memory. But, you know, just like the Oscar speeches, I have a lot of people to thank and a lot of stories to tell, but you shouldn't worry, I won't tell all the stories. That comes for my first novel. I retired early so that I'd beat Tom Coffey to it. So the first thing I'd like to do is to introduce my family to you, because one of the reasons I'm retiring is because my mother and I have plans. So my mother, Noreen Dugan. Mom, can you stand? Mom? And my sister and my brother, Katie Dugan, who used to teach in the School of Nursing and now has come back from Seattle to be in the School of Nursing, and my brother, Terry. His wife, very good. His wife, Terry Lou, who's out at the Creighton University Retreat Center, so if you're making reservations out there, Terry Lou will help you, and she'll take care of all of the details. My niece, Katie Jo Dugan, is here. Katie Jo is one of my nieces and nephews who asked me, Aunt Barbie, are you really famous? And now the reason she asked that question was because my last name is different from theirs. But she never knew that. She just knew I was Aunt Barbie. And so I said, well, in some circles. I'm famous, not in others. She said, well, is your grandmother famous? I said, no, I don't think so. She said, well, what is this with the Braden scale? So I tried to explain to her, and she looked really confused. And then she said, wait a minute, is your last name Braden? I said, yes, that's it. Okay. So everyone else in the family, their last name is Dugan. My last name is Braden. So that was the area of confusion. Okay, so also here I've got cousins. My cousins, Ann and Janet. My friends, Mimi and Pat Bowman, over at this table. One of my high school classmates. Yay! Kate, she's the one that has stories, she says. Her husband, Stan, two of my friends from nursing school, back at the old St. Joe's in the 60s, Tony Laguza and Sheila Ryan. Sheila, who was later my dean, both of whom are still good friends. So that's the array of family that came with me. All the rest are friends, the entire group, I hope, anyway. Thank you. I won't be too long, but I want to talk a little bit about my career at Creighton. It started in the School of Nursing, and I spent 20 years there. I don't know, my first dean, let's see, my first dean was Sheila Ryan, I think. Yeah. Starting when I came back in 75, though not in 74 when I taught in the spring. So Sheila Ryan was my first dean, and she was the one who really got me started on really the real entire fantastic research career, because she called me into her office 5 times and said, Barb, I want you to write a grant for a teaching nursing home project. And 5 times I said, hey, Sheila, we don't have the resources, I don't have the time, blah, blah, blah. And I said, no, I can't do it. And I'd go back to my office, and she'd call me in again. This is persistence. And this is why you have to have introverts and extroverts working together, and visionaries and operational people working. So 5 times. So finally, the 5th time, she said, I'll relieve you from clinical if you'll write the grant. So I said, now we're talking. So I wrote the grant, and about midway through the writing, University of Nebraska came to us and said, can we put together a consortium? Because the Omaha faculty didn't want to go for the grant, but the Lincoln faculty did. So Sheila said, yeah, sure. So we did it. We had this consortium, and out of 80-some schools, we got the grant. So there were 10 other schools in the Teaching Nursing Home Project. And it was out of that project that the Braden scale was done. So anyway, my 20 years in the School of Nursing were fabulous. My nursing colleagues are wonderful. As soon as I'd done the Braden scale and it was published, you know, I mean, it took off like a rocket, really much to my surprise, because I said it was a screening tool for this grant, and I thought it would amount to nothing at all. But once it got published, it did take off, and I have to give Sheila some credit there, and my research partner, Nancy Bergstrom, as well. But then the offers started rolling in from the other schools, and I have to tell you that I wouldn't leave Creighton just for any reason, because I'd been to the big schools, the research schools, and they were very competitive, and they weren't there for their students. You know, they kept 4 hours a week of faculty hours for their students, and otherwise you didn't see them. And at Creighton, we were there all the time. And so my friends in the School of Nursing were always supportive and thoughtful and hardworking and fun-loving. And so I decided no matter what the offers came in, I wanted to stay at Creighton. And so I believe life is too short and money is too fleeting to put up with that kind of competitive spirit. During that same period of time, by the way, I came as a master's prepared nurse from UCSF, and I have to thank Dr. Haney, he's here today, because he gave me a scholarship to help me with my doctoral education. So, thank you. And he was always very supportive of nursing, so I really appreciate that. At any rate, thank you. Water, wine, please. Okay, anyway. So, then the Braden scale became very well known, and all of a sudden this opportunity came up to be Dean of the Graduate School. It was out there. It was being publicized, and I thought, I first saw it, and it said, oh, you had to be this, that, and the other thing. Check, 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 check. I thought, oh, wait a minute, I could apply for this. And then I thought, no, I don't think so. But Tom Coffey saw me one day in the courtyard, and I said to him, okay, what's the gossip on campus? Tell me about it. Who's applying? You know, who do you think should apply? He says, everybody's asking why you don't apply. I said, oh! And so I applied, and actually thanks to, I think primarily maybe my colleagues that were on the search committee and my colleagues in arts and sciences really talked to President Morrison a lot at that time, and I became graduate dean, which was a great honor, and I think being the first female dean outside of the College of Nursing was really a big thing at that time. I loved being graduate dean. I loved knowing all of the faculty and all of their various disciplines and all of their scholarly works. I thought that surely I had the best job on campus. And then Charlie Doherty had the nerve to leave, and I became the interim AVP. Oh my gosh, the worst year of my entire life. Oh, it wasn't that bad. He had to bring me wine all the time. I was like, oh my God, this is awful. We were in a financial crisis. We couldn't give the faculty raises. I'm like, oh, fine, put me in this position now. But I have to say that here's the big story that not everybody knows, though, okay, I do tell it every chance I get. But when I was interim AVP, there is this tradition that when the president leaves campus, that he has one of his cabinet become the acting president. And so when Father Schlegel left in July, he did me the great favor of making me the acting president for that week. So I, boys and girls, am the first woman president of Creighton University. That's right. I was under a lot of pressure at that time. Brian LeBeau, it was the middle of July, he wanted me to call a snow day. I decided not to do that. That seemed more like infamy than fame. But at the end of that year, I was so happy to turn that over to Christine Wiseman. On the other hand, also during that year, Tim Dickel decided he wanted to retire. And because we had not even enough money at that time to do a search, I said, oh, for heaven's sakes, I'll do both jobs, both graduate dean and university college dean, since that had been suggested by, let's see, what was our thing then? Oh, yes, process redesign. And so I took both jobs. That lasted about 4 years. And they were wonderful years in that Father Schlegel was here, Christine Wiseman was here, we had a great team going, but it was exhausting and things started falling through the cracks. And so I asked, I said, really, I need to go to one deanship. I can only pay attention to one thing at a time. I'm getting old, I have to focus. And so we looked for a new graduate dean. And I'm happy to say that I did for Gail Jensen what Tom Coffey did for me. I said to Gail, you really should apply. And she did, and I'm thrilled to think that she'll be taking over for me when I leave. I think I was kind of old and tired at the end, and also we didn't work towards a total integration of University College and the graduate school, and I think that now we will. So. When I leave, I think we can make it work this time, but at that time, I was old and tired. And so I decided to step down. When I did that, my mother said to me, Barb, do you think that you can do without 2 salaries? I mean, you become kind of used to this. I'm like, 2 salaries? Mother, do you think I've been getting 2 salaries for this? I said, I didn't even get a raise. Now, mind you, I was AVP. I could have decided on the raise, but the faculty didn't get raises, so I just took on the job, didn't take the raise, etc., okay? Then, so after I told my mother this, she said, there's a long silence, and Mother said, you know, Barb, really, I'm kind of ashamed of you. You're a strong woman. You shouldn't have negotiated a better deal than that. So, here's to my mother, who made me a strong woman, but maybe not such a good negotiator. So finally, I really want to thank all of my colleagues at University College. The last, after I gave up being, first of all, while I was graduate dean and dean of University College, they held it together. And then after I could turn my full attention to them, they were extremely grateful. They're very hardworking. They're the most capable, intelligent, and resilient women that I know. It's a wonderful group to work with. I am happy to be leaving this in Gail's hands and in the hands of my colleagues in University College, who every one of them, from my 3 administrators, Mary Beth Bestenliner, Maureen Crouchley, Christine Billings, and all of the others, my assistant director of summer sessions, M. Calvert, admissions coordinator, Val Maddox, my new advisor, Lori Gillespie, who used to be director of admissions, and I mean, she's a fireball at at all the things that we need to do. Donna DeRoga, who's very helpful at CPD. all of these people are absolutely fabulous, and so I think the melding of the two schools will be wonderful. And so, in the end, I want to thank all of you, certainly Father Schlegel, for always having confidence in me. You know, while it was Morrison who gave me the deanship of the graduate school, he gave me, he had the confidence to name me the interim AVP, and to then let me go on to, I went into his office and I said, we don't have money for a search. I'm going to take over University College and graduate school. He's like, okay, whatever. So, you know, he's always been very supportive. But really the delight has always been in all of the people at Creighton. There are so many people out here. Oh, and I just, as I scanned the crowd, I said, I have to say, the only reason I survived the year as AVP is because I had neighbors and friends who fed me, gave me wine, watched my animals, you know. And I have to talk about EMS, who really, EMS is one of the parts of University College that took off like a rocket and has came from losing a great deal of money when we took them over to making a great deal of money now, to the Institute for Priestly Formation. Are they still here, my friends? Rich Gaboost and Kathy Canavy. There they are over there. They started out the first summer. We had that summer program with 6 students, went to 175 last summer. Yay. We educate, by the way, 1/4 of all seminarians in the country. So, yay. Thank you, Rich. So, I just have to say that I've had the best of all careers, and the best thing is that in all of my positions, I've had the opportunity to interact with every segment of the university, and that's what's made this the richest career of all. So thank you.
I promised Barb the last word. The bar is still open.